MotorLand Aragon, the penultimate circuit on the 2023 FIM Finetwork JuniorGP World Championship calendar. It's the 6th round of 7, and now it's the chaos of the European Talent Cup that lies ahead. It is a 5.1 kilometre long circuit. Guido Pini and Casey O'Gorman were winners in 2022. However, today it's not that easy. Max Quiles has already took honours. 17 corners to do battle at across some 13 laps. This one is unpredictable. You don't want to miss it. The sun is shining down on MotorLand Aragon in the middle of the Spanish desert, just outside of Alcañiz, the historic town in the Teruel region. This is the European Talent Cup. As we take a look through the paddock, everybody's eyes on this race. We could mathematically have a champion at the end of it, but we'll do the maths for you as the race goes on. It's highly unlikely, but this is the European Talent Cup. Anything can happen. Kiko Charles and Tristan Finocchiaro taking you through the action today. Tristan, we've seen a crowning moment elsewhere in the paddock. Will we see another one here? Will Max Quiles be able to convert that pole position and make it count?
We could very well do. I mean, it's so close at the top of this championship. Going into this weekend, with only 1 point splitting the top 2 and then 9 points splitting the top 3. So we could do. I wouldn't say it's probable. I think it'll go down to the wire at the last round, but here's how it happened in race 1 then. Just 1 point split in the top 2 going into it, 9 split in the top 3 as we've said. But Uriarte it was on the number 51 who led the way down into turn 1 before Max Quiles chopped his nose off. Really strong on the brakes for the number 28 and pretty much controlled the race from the front. He did have a long lap penalty to serve as well. The number 81 went down and out of the race. There was Quiles taking his long lap penalty. He rejoined in around 6th position, and then it was a tall order for him to carve his way through the field, but he did it. The battle raged on at the front as Jesus Rios was making some big moves. Quiles then came back to the front with Rico Salmela. He was making some big moves on the 27 as well. Guido Pini trying all he could to keep himself in podium contention, went out onto the green a few times. And then the battle just carried on, raging on out the front. Quiles, Pini, Salmela, Rios, Uriarte, it could have gone anyway, but in the end, it was the number 28 that took that victory. And heading on to the final lap, it really could have gone anyway. Rush Moodley climbed his way through the field to join the chasing pack right at the front. And was making some big moves, the South African on the number 51. He led the way for a few laps right at the end. But then Quiles pounced right when he needed to, down at the final corner. The number 28 knew exactly what he needed to do. He took victory ahead of the chasing pack. It was the battles raging on, lap after lap after lap. Uriarte was making moves late in the race, and Pini got muscled back to the back of the pack. And he was being bullied on the number 1 machine. There were some big moves and some big moments all through the races. One of the riders hit the barrier there, lucky to get away with that one. Jesus Rios was looking racy in the closing stages, so was Uriarte, so was Quiles, who would time and time again just hit the front. Timed it to perfection, as he does on the number 28, as he has done so many times. He took victory in the end, and is 1 step closer to taking the ETC Championship this year. He's been so strong all year long. Took the victory from Uriarte, with Rios rounding out the podium. Could be decided in this one. These are the stars of the future, names that we expect to see hitting the Grand Prix paddock. Just want to give a little shout out as well to Marco Holt in the British racing scene, who today has just won the MKGP 50 and MKGP 70 championship. They're one of the first riders to take both championships. He's also been riding in Spain in the Mir Racing Championships as well, and he'll be a rider who we'll be looking to see over in British Talent Cup and European Talent Cup in the future, so a name to look out for the future. But right here, right now, there's a title on the line.
There is a title on the line, or at least there's a title up for grabs. It's Maximo Quiles, not just your pole man, he's your series leader. He's got a 6-point advantage over Brian Uriarte. They are 1st and 2nd on the grid. If Quiles wins like he did in race 1, Uriarte will need to be, by my reckoning, 11th or lower, because then the countback already works in Quiles' favour. You get 5 points for finishing in 11th. You get 25 for the win. So then it would be a swing of 20, which means the gap would be 26. Quiles has got 4 wins compared to the 3 of Uriarte. So, unless Uriarte wins, then it could go to countback in Valencia. But by my reckoning, maybe it could be a 10th place for Quiles if Uriarte wins.
I'm glad you're doing the maths, mate, because
no one else is. They're already nodding off at home. I'm doing it live. Why am I doing it live? I didn't have time to do it after race 1. But that's my reckoning. Top 10 finish for Quiles and Uriarte if Uriarte wins. But then you've got Guido Pini, who's in the mix as well, and Dodo Boggio and Enrico Salmella, who have got mathematical chances, and that is about it. This is Salmella, who is 3rd on the grid. This grid will look a little bit different to the grid of race 1, Tristan, because of a myriad of penalties coming everyone's way yesterday.
Yeah, there was 31 riders had penalties after yesterday's qualifying sessions and the practice sessions as well, for a number of different reasons. Most of it was riders riding slowly on the racing line or out on circuit, slow sectors, out of the 114 and out of the 130%. Not in this one. Not all of those 31 riders were on the grid, because a lot of them didn't go through to the last chance race, which actually never happened in the end. But yeah, this grid, as you were after qualifying now.
This is a name, a star of the future, Valentin Perrone. Now, he only got points this year in this class and has really found form here this weekend in Aragon. He was one of the riders who also had a penalty but came through to score 1 point in race 1. He goes from 4th on the grid, the Argentine. Right on cue, the beautiful Argentinian flag, and friends and family no doubt cheering him on, Tristan.
Yeah, brilliant to see another flag, another nationality on the grid. Like we say, these are the stars of the future. So if Valentin is a rider who can really hone his skills and bring that to the World Championship stage, that would be so incredible for the sport. Pau Alsina, he was looking racy in race 1, didn't quite have the edge that a lot of the front runners had, but age 15, he's got plenty of time to be racking up the points. Best result this season has been 7th place. Will he push his way through in this race? We'll find out.
I think he actually crossed the line in 6th, so there must have been a penalty after race 1. So Alsina, I make that 5 7th place finishes, so he is anything to get in that top 6, please, is what he's going to be begging
Cursed
next.
by that number 7.
Yeah. The number 7, by the way, was the rider that crashed earlier in race 1 at turn 8, who hit the barrier. That was Beñat Fernandez. Thankfully, we actually did see him walk away in the live, so he's okay and should be in position to take place on the grid. This is Jesus Rios, or Jesus Elbows Out Rios. He was absolutely box office in the first race, and last race of the day, after that first podium of his career earlier, he'll be looking for a first win and doing anything he can to get it.
Yeah, we like a bit of that. He really had his elbows out in that race. He was firm but fair. I don't think any of his moves were over the line. They were on the line, but not over the line, and incredible to see that. That's what we want. We want young riders with drive who are getting their elbows out and excited to be pushing their way through. One rider who was really pushing on last year, your reigning champion, Guido Pini. Granted, part of that was due to some misfortune for Joel Esteban, who's moved up, but he is a champion, and he's here. He has taken victory already this year. Was looking very racy in race 1, just got a little bit unlucky on the last couple of laps.
And just quickly on Pini, he needs to outscore Max Quiles or not lose more than 2, well, needs to not lose more than 1 point to him to stay in the title race. He's 23 back of Quiles. If he finishes ahead of Quiles, he'll be going into the showdown. Regardless, he'll be in contention, but Pini will keep you updated throughout the race. He's not as clear-cut as staying in the title race as perhaps Uriarte is. So it could be a head-to-head showdown in the final round of Valencia. Let's see what happens here. That was the Belgian rider Lorenz Tony Luciano on the Artbox bike. He goes from 8th place on the grid. We'll be coming up to see Adriano Donoso in a moment's time. He will go from 9th. Here he is, number 12. Race 1 in that lead group, still chasing that career first podium. And Donoso really a rider to keep an eye on. best result of the year came earlier on, joint with Valencia, 6th in both. He'll be looking for a first top 5 this weekend in this race.
Yeah, a name that we've seen sort of threatening on the timing screens throughout practice this weekend, was looking decent in qualifying, was there or thereabouts in the race, just needs that little bit of edge, needs to carve his way through a little bit, but a rider who's finding his form, I think, in this category, and I'm assuming he'll be sticking around for next year, so a name to keep an eye on for sure.
Quickly completing the top 10 is Marco Morelli of the Vision Track Racing team with Michael Laverty, but on pole, Max Quiles. It's his first match points. Can he do it? The European Talent Cup. Where to start with this one? The penultimate race of the season in the penultimate round of the season. And the first match point for Max Quiles. If Brian Uriarte wins, Quiles can be in the top 10 anywhere. And I think the title race goes to Valencia. I believe we'll do the live maths throughout, but it is a match point. The gap is only 6. So Brian Uriarte can be remaining in contention. However, Quiles needs to outscore him by about 19 points by my working out, because then it wouldn't go to count back. It's complicated, it's not very likely either, but we have to tell you it as it comes. Quiles on pole ahead of Uriarte, the top 2 in the title race, 1st and 2nd, and 3rd on the grid for Rico Salmela, who the Finnish rider continues to chase a first podium. Hugo Giles and Tristan Finocchiaro alongside me, taking you through the action. Lots of riders to keep an eye on, one of them of which is the number 21 of Ruche Moodley, who we saw come through in race 1, 20th on the grid. He'll be one to watch again here. Who else, Tristan? Who else do we need to keep our eyes peeled on?
I'd say keep your eye on Peony in this one. He was looking very, very racy in race 1. Got bullied a little bit towards the back of the group in the final few laps. Got a little bit unlucky as well. So he'll be out for vengeance in this one on the number 1. And if he approaches it with the similar or the same approach as he did in race 1, I think he'll be up there. Max Quiles again, though, he's just one of those riders, you know, when they just have that slight edge. They're able to lead the way. They keep themselves right where he always keeps himself right where he needs to be. And when the checkered flag falls, he's in that first position. So Quiles definitely, I think, the favourite going into this one. Uriarte will be wanting to stop him though, and I think keep your eye out for Peony.
29 degrees air temperature, 36 degrees track temperature, and a little bit of wind. It is going to be a warm one out there, a lot warmer than the opening race of the day. And generally, when the track temperatures come up for these small bikes, the racing doesn't really get strung out that much. We had a massive lead group in the opening race. We're probably going to have a bigger one in this one unless someone can make the break. Max Quiles had to serve a longer penalty in race 1, doesn't have to do it now. So to contradict myself and that theory, Quiles, if he's out front, might just be able to stretch the field if he's there all along. Got a couple of, well, got a Brit to watch out for in this race, Emmanuel Brinton. He is going from 17th on the grid. Here's your championship standings then. Do the working out at home yourself, it'll probably be a bit more understandable. But if Quiles wins, that's 25 points. Uriarte then must finish in the top 10 to keep his title hopes alive. I think an 11th place does not secure the title, does secure the title for Max Quiles and does not secure a showdown spot. Of course, it depends on many things. It is unlikely, but it could happen. And these guys...
It's European Talent Cup.
It's European Talent Cup. We saw earlier in earlier parts of the season that riders do crash, particularly the top 2. They've had their moments this year. Last time out, of course, 51. Quick prediction from your side, Tristan. Who have you got?
Peony.
Peony.
Peony, and that's not because he's Italian.
And he needs to as well. He needs to do it because Peony is one of the riders who can't lose points, really. Unless he loses 1 to Quiles, then he's got to be right there at the front. Hopefully we get it all underway earlier. We had a race 1 error for Vasilis Pantialiakis. No dramas this time around. We look to the lights then The penultimate race of the day, the penultimate race of the ETC season. Go! And it is a great start for Max Keeles. He has got an absolute march on down towards turn 1. He's going to get the whole shot. That's in the books. Through into third goes Peeny. Second is Moriarty. Big move from Peeny. They're all just in for position through the opening 2 corners. Good stuff right from the start. Peeny knows he's got to go with his 2 big title rivals if he's to stay in championship contention. He's out wide there though, pushing a bit too hard on the opening lap, but the front 3 are away and clear.
Yeah, top 3 in your championship are top 3 in this race, so it's all to play for here in the European Talent Cup. One of the Vision track bikes going there, that's Morelli, the number 97, out of track limits there. That's one to keep, always to keep an eye on the European Talent Cup or in any lightweight classes. Keeles though, he's come out of this straight off the line, guns blazing. He wants this one and he's already pulled away slightly from these guys. That big back straight will bunch them back together though.
Slipstream effect as they come through the corkscrew then, building through turn 9, then this turn 10, the Marc Marquez corner. There's his monument on the inside, now building up the hill through the kink at turn 11, which is somehow a turn over the brow, into the braking area, into the pinch point.
Look at Sal Mellor, is he going to do 2 for 1? That's a good deal.
Beautiful, 2 for 1, and he keeps the change as well. He's through on the inside, keeps it neat and tidy. Guido Peeny then back to 4th. The Sal Mellor in 2nd, Uriarte 3rd. Don't worry about championship permutations just yet because it doesn't really change anything apart from Peeny would be out of the title race, but the Keeles, number 28 and number 51 of Uriarte would be going head-to-head in Valencia. Down the back straight to turn 16, the fastest part of this track, and look at this massive racing snake go down towards the final left-handers. Peeny back through into 3rd, then he was 2nd. Will he pull it down? I think he will, and coming back through, was that Sal Mellor? Or was it Uriarte? As we come through, I think it was Sal Mellor. It looked a bit smaller. Yes, it was. So Sal Mellor through into 2nd place. Then he's going to be into 3rd place. Now he's going to be into 2nd place into turn 1. But Keeles has already got an advantage. Wow, that was.
These guys need to stop all this swapping and changing because this is letting Keeles break away out the front.
And out back as well. Morelli was coming back through as well, and it just disrupted the 3rd group, say, in this race. So Jesus Rios is 5th. They had a Paul Cena in 6th, but they don't look like they actually have the pace at the moment, at least, of Keeles. Keeles is looking very, very cool, calm and collected out front.
No jump starts then, that's confirmed, so that's not anything we need to keep an eye out for. Peeny though, looking racy. He'll do well though to just stick behind Sal Mellor. Sal Mellor's a solid little rider, very fast around this Aragon circuit, and I wouldn't be surprised if he can catch Keeles out the front. If these guys try not to trip each other up as much as they can, although you know what it's like in European Talent Cup, it's pass or be passed. And if Peeny isn't making moves on Sal Mellor, soon he'll have Uriarte trying to shove it up the inside of him. If Uriarte's not trying to make a move on Peeny, he'll have Jesus Rios definitely getting his elbows out on him. So it's a really, really difficult one to manage, but that back straight should bunch them together once again. Peeny has a little look up the inside of Sal Mellor.
Tell you what, not many people outbrake Peeny on the brakes. He was very, very strong in race 1. Sal Mellor looking good in race 2 thus far. Finish rider, the number 27. Oh, he's good on the brakes into 14 as well. He ate up Max Keeles there.
They're on him now.
Yeah, Keeles has been caught here, so hopefully we will have a battle at the front. Slipstream City all the way down. It is a little bit strung out more than we thought. But watch Peeny, he's going to pull out. He's got a bit of a 2-bike slipstream as well. Double bubble. He's only going to make one move, though, I think, unless Keeles makes a mistake into the last corner, which he doesn't. But Peeny moves through into 2nd place. And Sal Mellor just hones back onto his rear wheel, but no move made. Jesus Rios has moved into 4th place ahead of Uriarte. You just saw the blue MRE talent machine flash up through the order. Sal Mellor looking on the inside of Peeny to take back 2nd. But again, they've not learned, because the more they do this, Max Keeles is not being interfered with.
Yeah, they're back on the back of him again, but now they've caught him. Peeny's looking for another way past Sal Mellor. I know Peeny wants to be getting past Keeles. Both of them do, really. They need to make sure he doesn't break away. They're right on him now, though, so it always stays as close racing in European Talent Cup, but no long lap penalty this time for Keeles. So if he can win the race with a long lap penalty, what can he do without it?
Well, I think we're seeing that. I mean, he's already stretched the opening few riders out in this race so far. We're a lot more strung out than we were this morning. So
yeah, pace is hot here.
Keeles without that interference of a long lap penalty, seems like his pace is so superior. It's just pushing the limit and pushing the others to try and go with him. They are, but it's not as clear-cut as it was before. It's definitely not as handbags at dawn as it was earlier. It's a little bit tidier as Pini gets a great run out the Marc Marquez corner. Up over turn 11 now. They're right with Quiles, but there's no move to be made. Salmela was good on the brakes there last time, and he's good on the brakes again this time. Pini, he was a standout performer late on the brakes in race 1, not this time around.
Yeah, Salmela really confident through that turn 12. He made a move on Pini there 1 lap ago and was very, very strong there. This time around, Pini couldn't find his way through on him. He's just able to, he's really good at, notice with Salmela, at braking with a bit of lead angle. So obviously going into that one, you're leaning, you're on the left-hand side of the tyre, you're braking, trying to get it stopped as good as you can. Got a really good feel in between that initial braking point to the apex, but so is Pini in all fairness, and that's definitely a skill that they learn in this European Talent Cup. Pini up to second, then he's all over the rear wheel of Quiles. Are we going to see a change for the lead in for the first time in this race? He's in his slipstream down the front straight. Is he going to make a move down into turn 1?
We're going to see Pini got the number 1 on him for a reason, and this is why, because he's never done until it is impossible. Pini into the front, Quiles second, Salmela third. Those guys, though, have got 7/10 on Jesus Rios in 4th place. And I just wonder, Pini, it's in his interest to slow this pace down a bit now. It's not in his interest to string it out further. He'll need the others to come in if he's to recover some of the points he lost earlier on today. Pini riding well through turn 5. He leads the race. Quiles looks over the wrong shoulder, and Salmela takes advantage. Ha! That would have been a surprise. Eyes on springs when he looked back ahead of him. As through comes Salmela, then the finish rider in second.
The hard way.
Yeah, don't take your eyes off the action, please. At the front. Oh, move, that is the Uriarte coming back through on Rios. And don't forget, Uriarte's well in this title race, and we'll see Pini, this is Pini's move, he'll see Pini leading this race and know he's got a chance out. Quiles is stretching clear.
Yeah, you see, Quiles hits the brakes straight up, Pini just hits the brakes a yard or so later, up the inside of him, move done, nice and easily done there for the number 1. Nice clean move. Yeah, Uriarte's just been caught napping at the beginning of this race, just seems a little bit asleep, not quite what we're used to seeing him, but now he's waking up, and that is a brilliant move from Uriarte. So he's back, he's settled into this race now, and that is a statement of intent.
It really is, and I tell you what, it's just what I was saying, maybe Pini, it's not in his interest to stretch this field out. His last lap was a 2:01.4 and a 2:01.6 by Salmela, so we're going to see what it is. They're definitely all back as a group together now. Let's see what it is when they come across the line, but the pace looks like it's maybe not slowed by that much, but it's slowed enough to allow the others back in. Across the line we go. Quiles is aware of this. Yeah, it's slowed by a second that lap around, so Pini got to the front.
Oh, and Jesus Rios is back.
Oh, dearie me! How many abreast would you like into turn 1? Rios is now in the thick of it. Uriarte's up into second, and Quiles is back to the lead. But Pini dropped that pace there by a second. He can go with Quiles, I feel, but it's not in his interest to. Rouchet Moodley,
fastest lap of the race.
What a shock that is. As back through on the inside at turn 2 comes Rios. That's at the expense of the 28th. That's Max Quiles, your championship leader. Here's the fastest lap rider of the race, number 21, Rouchet Moodley from Port Elizabeth in South Africa. So he's having a great ride here on the Finetwork Mia Racing team. And look over your shoulder, that's for your 24th. Gabon Plonk is right up there. Plonk has come right through, surging through the field. As
Boggio as well, worth mentioning.
Yeah, and Luciano, the 81, who's out on the wide line there. He's being eaten up by 1 or 2, maybe 3 riders there. He made a mess of that, the Belgian. So out front is Uriarte from Rios, then it's Quiles, Pini, 5th for Moodley, 6th for, that is Boggio, then Luciano. Plonk, Salmela's down in 9th, so God knows what's happened there. 10th for Morelli. Alcina dropping to 11th too.
Right then, Uriarte out the front. Got Jesus Rios behind you, and if he looks at his pit board and sees number 54 is right behind him, he's going to have a heart attack.
What is it with the number 54s? Any 54 in history. Keenan Sofawoglu, Toprak Razgatlioglu, we've seen it. Alberto Ferrandez isn't shy either. Every 54. It's almost like they're born aggressive. Let's see.
It's either a number you pick or the number picks you.
Yeah, let's see. The 54 is on the inside and just takes his braking room. Again, we saw that in race 1 actually from Rios. He just swipes the nose really right into the braking area. Oh, he got payback there. Through comes Uriarte again. Pini back into second place. Rios will be third, maybe even fourth across the line. He was fifth across the line, so Rios got really duffed up there. Down the front straight. Look at this. I mean, how can you pick anyone from that? I thought I mean, the two teammates, Keyless and Dodo Boggio, would come together side by side. Through turn 2. Uriarte on the outside, but Pini is just, look at this. Oh, Uriarte rammed off the track. Moodley's come through. Keyless doesn't know where to look. Look to your inside because you've got Uriarte under you. That's your main title rival. Boggio's right there trying to get in on his teammate as well. But Pini, the number 1, leads. Does he? No. The 21 is up in the lead now. So Moodley, please. Rouchet Moodley. He was robbed in race 1. It looked like a mechanical problem on the last lap, 2 corners from home. If he can, he's done magic already today. He deserves a result. The South African, the 16-year-old, massive crash in Valencia earlier in the year. He was out injured. The bike was destroyed. He's back to his best. He's back to some good form. And he's mixing it with the big heavyweights in this class at the front of the field. Pini, Uriarte and Keyless are no slouches, neither are any of the others in this league group, but they're the main men in the title race. And Moodley is showing what he could do.
Boggio's joining the party as well now on the number 47. He was really, really strong in race 1, but was just caught in the group that was a bit far back from him. He was battling for that 9th position and was leading the group for the majority of that one. And now he's well in the mix here. So Moodley, he was looking so strong in race 1. He was making some big moves, and he is not shy of getting his elbows out. Neither is Pini though. Got his slipstream down the back straight.
You can't be in ETC. Max Keyless moves through from 5th to 3rd. Gets it done. Pini goes through. Moodley's out wide. Keyless will pick him up there. That's a good move from Keyless. Oh, dear me.
Boggio.
And Pini was out wide as well. Keyless comes through. It's almost like Pini didn't want to lead onto the straight. He wants to be attacking into turn 1 and hold him up for another lap. So, and is he going to do it? Yes, he is. Pini lets the brakes off and parks it on the apex. Turning it tight, and under him is Keyless, but Keyless can't make it work. The pace is so slow at the front when you've got Pini out front. I mean, the last lap across the line, it was so quick, it was a 2:02.9. So let's see what it is this time around.
Almost 2 seconds slower than what they were doing earlier on in the race. But look at this. I mean, how can you be setting fast laps when you are 3-4 abreast into almost every corner, running wide like that? Keyless on his outside, Moodley on his inside. Boggio trying to have a little look at the inside as well. Absolute chaos.
There was contact there with Pini and Keyless. Keyless looks across. This is going to end in tears. You've got the feeling it's just not going to end well. That's Luciano up the inside, the Belgian rider. That's up in for 3rd place. Then you've got Keyless, Boggio. They're teammates, by the way. You never guess them the way they're absolutely shoulder charging each other. And it's Boggio who's come out best of it at the moment. So everywhere you look at this moment in time, there is something to look at. And on the brakes up into, no, oh dear, I thought Luciano was going to let the brakes off there completely. So Tony Luciano, Lorenzo Tony Luciano, no, he's not an extra from the Sopranos, that is his name. 3rd place there on the number 81 Art Box machine. Looking very strong indeed, but it's hard to read with 7 laps to go. We're not even half race distance yet.
I wouldn't be predicting it just yet.
No. We can predict there'll be some more contact, I think, and that is about it. This is the European Talent Cup. If you're just joining us, this could be the title deciding race. It's highly unlikely to be as things stand. Rouchet Moodley. Does he hold on? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Because through has come Keyless again, turns it tight. We've seen a lot of that today. Tight turns at turn 17. So it's Keyless who leads Moodley, who leads Pini across the line. The time's that time even slower, 2:03. Yes, 2:03.3, and they're going to be slower again as Pini goes back to the front, runs out wide, blocks everyone's line, puts Keyless back in the back again, and everything's closing up. Moodley can almost sense this, and the thing is that Whoever hits the front is going to get repassed straight away by Guido Pini. He's oh, no way!
Keyless, that is just magic from Max.
Taking the Michael there. Max Keyless from 4th to 1st at turn 4.
Pini determined as any, though. He gave it just as good as he was being given there, but Keyless bites straight back, but he keeps it round the outside of him. Pini is in the mood.
Can we have an onboard camera somewhere, please? What about this then? So Pini, oh, he's found his race 1 braking. Oh, dear me, that was a contact there. That was almost disaster. And so Uriarte, you had to pick that up then. I think it may have been. Oh no, it wasn't. It was Sal Mellor. Oh dear me, we couldn't have had that. Oh, everyone out on the green there. That was Moodley and Rios as they come out of turn 10, the Marc Marquez corner. Keyless, no, on the brakes. I tell you, Pini, he might have been sandbagging earlier on. Didn't want to maybe reveal too much, but
well, he had fastest lap of the race earlier on. He was really pushing on. I think a lot of it is just down to this.
Yeah,
exactly that. This scrapping, changing position, round the outside, up the inside, getting the cut back, pushing each other out wide.
Oh, hello.
You saw Pini earlier on. You try and go around the outside of him, he pushes you off circuit. He's having a
conversation. Hello, what are you doing? I tell you what, none of us are leading. Uriarte's questioning himself as well now. They're all talking to each other. And Rouchet Moodley is laughing on the other side of his face at this time because he's gone back through. The 3 title heavyweights were all in conversation down the back straight there. That's absolutely brilliant. Shot of the year for sure. Out of turn 17 then. 5 laps to go. Rouchet Moodley leads another one. The 51 of Uriarte's there. Pini on the inside.
Look at this.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
3 in 1 fucking.
Tony Luciano there is in the 81. Yeah, everyone's shaking their head. I can't believe what is going on here. This is fantastic racing for sure. But Tony Luciano, he was the one who was sideways on the 81 into turn 1, and now he's, whoa, dear, he's down. Luciano is down.
Oh,
he lost the front at turn 4, and I don't know who is passing. I think it was Boggio, but oh dear, that was coming. Luciano was absolutely on the limit. He was on the limit into turn 1. He's under the bike as well. Oh, careful, dearie me. The bike was hooked on him there, but that was coming. It was always something had to give. And you got the feeling it would be Tony Luciano because he was so out of control into turn 1. He somehow pulled it down. He took wide 97. Did he take? Apparently he took wide. Oh yes, Morelli went down. Yeah. Morelli went wide with him. And also the 11, that's David Gonzalez. So, well, that's broke the group up ever so slightly, and that's a fast pace to 4. So hopefully Tony Luciano is okay, but as I said, it was in the air. Back at the front then, leading Guido Pini. He slowed the pace down, but it is now.
I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this weaving thing. We've seen a lot of dangerous accidents happen with that. I mean, think about Chan Honshu back at Dennis Honshu back at Kota. That's something that needs to be weeded out.
Yeah, it's they're trying to break the slip shim at the end of the day, and
it's part of racing, but there's a way to do it. You don't do it that quickly or that aggressively.
Dear Pini up the inside of Keyless again. This is through turn 17. There's a lot of moves being made at 17. Normally if you lead into 60, it's job done, but I don't think... Oh,
there we go.
Dear me. Collision.
Just as we were talking about it.
Pini and Uriarte, the 2 title heavyweights, saying that's a big clash, and a shake of the head as well. In the Australia Galicia team, they've had a title sorted in JuniorGP with Angel Piqueras, hence the number 1. They're not getting excited, don't worry. But oh dear me, Guido Pini was colliding there with Uriarte. He's trying to keep his title hopes alive, and you can't blame him for doing that. But maybe with a few laps to go now, just settle down for a lap. Keyless out the seat, but keeps it pinned. Boggio's on the inside of Jesus Rios as well.
Oh, Uriarte up the inside. Let's have a look at what happened here. So Pini's just gone right into sight. I think probably just didn't see him come in, didn't know he was going to be there on the inside, trying to defend his line down into turn 1. It happens. Rubin's racing. It could have ended badly, but both of them were in control, had their elbows out, and they both dealt with that really, really well.
4 laps to go, 3.5 laps to go. What more's going to happen in this race? Deary me. So,
And again, Peeney's been bullied back to the back of this group. He's led a lot of these laps away. And again, Max Quiles it is out the front.
and Jesus Rios moves into second place. So Rios has got good pace. He took his first podium of his career in race 1. That was in 3rd. Looking to go 1 better, maybe even 2 better. With just 3 laps and a few corners to go. Rouchet Moody in deep there. That's going to sacrifice his exit onto the straight. Boggio's right there. Uriarte 5th. 6th for Peeney. Peeney at the moment is out of this title race. Salmela 7th. Salmela's brake protector is hanging down.
I'm surprised there isn't more of those brake protectors hanging off, or fairings hanging off the side of it. Plenty of tyre marks will be on their leathers. Robbins racing here in the European Talent Cup. These guys so close, and this is now again is letting Quiles break away out the front, so they've got to be really careful there. Guidi off on the Guido Peeney out of track bounds there. So I stumble over my words. It's non-stop here in European Talent Cup. Amazing racing.
Yeah, Quiles looks the most settled of him, and that's reflected in his pace. You know, he's been very, very good right the way through the weekend.
Timed it to perfection once again.
Matteo Roman has gone down. The 2021 the 2021 French Moto 3 runner-up is out of this. Hopefully he's okay. That was at turn 15, so it should be a slow fall there. Meanwhile, 2.5 laps to go. We are at turn 7. Rouchet Moodley's in the mood here, isn't he? He's chasing down Quiles. Boggio 3rd, 4th for Rios as we take stock of all this. Peeney has got to come up with something a bit special, preferably not aggressive if he's to come through. He's down in 7th at the moment, so work to do for Peeney, but the slipstream effect is so major here.
Anything can happen down that back straight. It could be completely reversed, and we've seen that time and time again, especially down into the last corner as well. We've seen 3, 4, even 5 abreast at times. So moves being made, people get pushed wide, people get punted off. But Quiles looking strong here with 2.5 laps remaining, just under in fact. Dodo Boggio's put himself well in the mix now as well. He's climbed his way up from further back on the grid, although he's just had an Estrella Galizia bike parked up the inside of him. Down the back straight one more time, then Quiles is trying to break the slipstream effect without realising that they're nowhere near him.
Yeah, literally, he doesn't need to be doing it, but he doesn't know. And Peeney made the big move on Salmela back at turn 13. He's now making a move on Rios. Can't get it done under braking. He probably tried, turns it under him, that's all right. Peeney's going to be all right there as long. I thought Salmela was going to come through Rios as well. He was holding our breath here. Keeping to the outside of the track is Quiles. He doesn't realise that behind him.
And here comes Jesus Rios on this final lap. Peeney, where's he come from to take second place there?
5th to 2nd. Now, Peeney's got to get the hammer down if he's to stay in this.
Well, Uriarte isn't going to let him do it though, is it?
I think the more they're going to pass each other, the more they're going to...
Yeah, look at this.
The more they're going to lose any chance of taking a victory here. The thing is for Peeney, he needs it more than them guys behind him, those guys behind him, because he needs to finish ideally ahead of Quiles if he's to stay in the title race, and he's not doing so at the moment. The gap would be 28 and Peeney would be out of it. Uriarte would still be in contention. The gap would go up to 15, however. So unless they can catch Quiles up, there's a 1.270 second gap up to Quiles for Peeney at the moment. I cannot see how that's going to be made up in a lap and a half, particularly because Quiles is out the slipstream. Through the Bar Marquez corner for the penultimate time.
It'll take a mistake from Quiles, if anything, and we haven't seen Quiles be making any mistakes so far in the European Talent Cup, but anything can happen in motorcycle racing as Boggio tries to go round the outside of Uriarte, and he makes it stick on the green up the inside on the right-hander. Uriarte bites straight back at him. Who's going to blink first on the brakes? Is Uriarte. He's already got it before he even hit the braking marker. Peeney is now breaking away from these lot, but he's not going to go and catch Quiles.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it looks like it's done. Peeney has had pace. I don't know if he's had the pace of Quiles, but he has had good pace to be in a group of 3. Unfortunately, he needed it to be a bit more, and it's cost him because they got so many more battles. It got so mixed up that he's ended up mired back anyway. Rouchet Moodley, that's moving through into 3rd place as he looks for a podium. Meanwhile, Uriarte fourth with Quiles winning. That gap goes up by 12 and it becomes 18 with one race to go.
Watch this now into
Last
turn
lap,
one.
Rios moves in on Boggio, pushes Pini out wide. Pini's title hopes are dashing before his eyes here. We're on the last lap. Rouchet Moodley is in second position. 2 seconds up the road now, more or less, is Max Quiles, who will extend his title advantage if he keeps it neat and tidy. Meanwhile, Rios, Boggio, oh dear, and Uriarte are all head-to-head for. That's third place, that's behind Moodley. Pini as well, the 95 is there, that's Leonardo Zanni. He's up in 8th place. Rouchet Moodley wide, but he's been wide at turn 7 a few times. They're not catching Quiles. Quiles hopefully will know he's got the gap.
Yeah, it's in the bag really now for Quiles. He just needs to hit his markers and bring it home, that's it. But this scrap for second place could go anyway between these guys. Moodley's putting himself in the perfect position on this final lap. Jesus Rios, though, is not shy of a move. Neither is Uriarte, neither is Boggio. Pini is so desperate in this race. We've seen it in his riding. He's ridden a really well-tactical race, but Sal Meller up the inside of his teammate now.
That's
just a few corners remaining.
No team orders there then. We're coming into the final sector. Sal Meller's not done his teammate a favour there. He's coming through on Boggio now. He's doing his... Oh, is he coming through? Yes, he is. Rouchet Moodley looks like...
City.
I tell you what, it looks like Moodley might just have enough here. Moodley's not bad in a straight line. Quiles is up the road. He's 1.7 seconds clear, so forget about him. He is going to double up at Aragon. Sal Meller's looking to come through to second. He leans on Rios. He comes through. Boggio over the outside.
Boggio round the outside. How did he save that?
What a save by Boggio. What a save by Sal Meller, and he does it again. Jesus Rios is going to be second, but Quiles extends his championship lead. There is no title this time, but Quiles does take the double at Aragon. Jesus Rios and Guido Pini are hard-fought third. Fourth for Uriarte. 5th for Moodley. Leonardo Zanni comes through for 6th place. That is a mighty performance out of Gabin Plonk, Sal Meller, Boggio and Eduardo Liguri on the Passini Racing machine. That's your top 10. Tristan, what a belter, but time to perfection. Once again, there's a reason why he's won a title before.
Yeah, no, perfect out the front. Again, like we said, time to perfection, like he did in race 1. He's just got that little edge. We spoke about it earlier on in the race. His teammate, though, Dodo Boggio, into that last corner. I don't think anyone has ever gone around the outside of multiple riders at the final corner, and that is exactly why. But he's learnt his lesson. Brilliant stuff from all these guys then. Racing as close as you like. Rubbing his racing here in European Talent Cup, and what a barnstormer.
A classic there. Quiles was just clear enough of it all. Quiles, well, what about it? Rios second, that's a career best for him. Pini on the podium again. But the number 1 will not be back on the AC Racing team machine. It is moving over. We don't know if it's to Quiles or we don't know if it's to Uriarte. But for sure, Pini, the gap now will be up at 32, and with just 25 points on the cards remaining, it is now impossible for him to become the first double ETC champion. Live scenes then here, the European Talent Cup at MotorLand Aragon. Race 2, an absolute thriller from start to finish. Cream always rises though, and the number 28 of Max Quiles has delivered the goods once more in an epic race 2. He doubled up, he won race 1, he's now got race 2 under his belt. And celebrations are going to be key. Oh, a little bit of a top rack style stopping. Starting him young. Quiles, I remember the first time he ever came really to fruition, his braking style was insane back in 2021. But he has been dominant and is a force to be reckoned with within the European Talent Cup class. That is for sure. Further down the order, outside of the top 10, Torres in 11th, Christian Daniel for America in 12th. That's a fine performance on the second of the MRE talent machines. Jesus Rios, his teammate, 13th for Adriano Donoso. Pau Alcina somehow dropping to 14th. And Valentin Perrone, who started 4th, but still in the early days of his career on the Fando Racing VHC team, taking the last point. Britain's Emmanuel Brinton ahead of Hakim Danish, but they were both 17th and 18th at the checkered flag. Oh my dear Lord! Even I had to sit back, I thought he was coming through the screen. What a stoppie into Parc Ferme. Max Quiles is a showman as much as he is a race winner. Fantastic stuff from Quiles then. What a race that was by him. Time to perfection. He was very, very smart indeed. All the way through that. And all of the family and friends there to cheer him on. The rider from Murcia, the same place as Anna Carrasco, the 2018 FIM Supersport 300 World Champion. This is Jesus Rios. Fantastic ride from him on the MRE Talent Honda. Second place, a career best. Thoroughly deserved 2 podiums leaving Aragon. So he's got every reason to be happy with that. Third for Guido Pini. It was a bit of a shake of the head when he came into Parc Ferme, as if to say, I tried my best. He'll be off to get weighed now, just to make sure he meets all the minimum weights requirement and all that stuff. But we look at the race winner, the championship leader. More importantly, we'll take a full look at the standings later on. This is the move. This is into the final turn. Quiles just so good. Pini back through on the exit of 16. And then Quiles just gets the run on him. Pini can see him trying to bury himself under the paintwork of that AC Racing Team machine. And then he clouts Rian Uriarte. Deary me. This is into the last turn. Oh, I tell you, there was contact. There was contact with Salmela there. And Boggio. Salmela hit it. I thought it was already Boggio just out on a wide line and on the dusty part of the track. Well, it wasn't. Salmela picked it up, hit his rear wheel. Boggio was clouted and then lost it as well. And there's that stopping. Lord. Toprak Razgatlioglu. Rate it out of 10, please. Or Jack Miller. Here we are then. Max Quiles, a double at Aragon. He extends that title lead, but it's not in the bag just yet.
Max Quiles, 2 wins from 2 races here at Aragon, and championship lead heading into the final round. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's been a crazy race. I didn't expect that I was going to open up because now it was a bit hotter. But yeah, these guys didn't let me go at the front because they know I had a bit more. So in the last 5 laps, I think I tried like the other, like race 1. And yeah, it was very fast for me because I was in the lead and I thought there was still more laps to go, but then I saw the flag, I said, oh, better. So yeah, I'm very happy. I want to thank everybody and Aspar as well, that they did an amazing job.
Well done. And in Spanish?
Sí, la carrera ha sido muy divertida. Al principio ha sido un poco caos porque los otros pilotos no querían dejarme tirar porque sabían que tenía un poco más. Y bueno, en las últimas 5 o 4 vueltas he tirado otra vez y bueno, he podido escaparme. Y bueno, quiero dedicar esta carrera a Aspar, a todo el equipo y gracias a todos.
Well done, congratulations.
Thank you.
Roughly translated the opening bit of that Spanish interview. A bit of chaos. Race 2, the European Talent Cup. Charge of the Light Brigade was an absolute riot right from start to finish. Quiles tried to break them early on and definitely was stretching the field, and Guido Pini was wise to that. And as soon as he could, Guido Pini latched onto the back of Quiles and was into a position where he could at least challenge and put himself in a place where he was in control. He needed to be, because he needed to try and keep his title hopes alive, and by slowing the pace at the front, the group would be bigger. But maybe it was slowed down just a touch too much. Massive chatter from Rico Salmela at the corkscrew time and time again. We saw it in race 1 and we saw it again this afternoon. As you can see, the group was massive. Lorenzo Tony Luciano in the mix on the number 81, and he was sideways on at various points, including at turn 1. And he tried going around the outside into turn 3, the Carlos Checa corner. It was an absolute, well, just festival at the front, a festival of aggression. This is the, I think the crash coming up maybe of Luciano. No, it's not. It's at that corner maybe the next time around. At the front, Pini, Quiles and Uriarte, the 3 title contenders coming into the race, were swapping paint at the front. They were even barging each other. That was Pini and Uriarte. Uriarte would answer straight back. And it was just non-stop paint swapping at the front of the field. All that allowed Quiles at the front just to fractionally pull away. The battle continued behind. Ruche Moody, the number 21, the 47 of Dodo Boggio, and of course the 54 of Jesus Rios also in on the action. This massive moment in the final corner, Dodo Boggio trying to go the long way, getting tagged by Salmela, but across the line for another victory. Max Quiles puts one hand on the 2023 ETC title, but it's not quite secured yet. You'll have to wait for Valencia for it to be mathematically done. We've got a showdown in 2023. And now time for the podium ceremony, and Tristan Finocchiaro now back alongside me. What a race that was, but again, the same outcome for Max Quiles, the race winner again.
Yeah, elation for Max Quiles down in Parc Fermé. Pini looked very, very disappointed in Parc Fermé. Wanted a little bit more than third place, wanted to take victory, wanted to keep himself firmly in championship contention. Really good, another podium there for Jesus Rios. Has looked really, really good this weekend, so congratulations to him. Max Quiles, though, what do you have to say? Didn't expect to break away, but he did. He made it work, and he had that little bit in the tank, also helped by the riders behind him, the likes of Pini and Jesus Rios and Uriarte, everyone who was in the mix, scrapping it out. Swapping paintwork, barging elbows and bashing bars, and incredible racing as always in European Talent Cup. Guido Pini, not incredibly happy with that third position, but I think in hindsight when he looks back at it, he'll realise he gave it everything he had. Jesus Rios, a rider to keep an eye on in the future, has been really impressive this weekend. It's really impressed me, making some big moves on there, some of them on the line, never over it though. What can you say about this man though? Max Quiles, another victory. One hand on the title, I think it's safe to say, going into Valencia, but anything can happen.
Pues ahí está ese fuerte aplauso para el piloto Máximo Quiles. Y ahora ya, pilotos, por favor, podéis daros ese baño con la gaseosa.
A well-deserved round of applause for your race winner. They spray the fizzy water at each other. Not old enough to be spraying the champagne just yet, but they will get there. Stars of the future, names that we'll be seeing moving up through the ranks, up to JuniorGP, up to Moto3, Moto2, MotoGP and the likes. Plenty of racing left in all of these young lads. Kiko's joined me back again in the commentary box after nipping out quickly.
All right, we're on there. Good race, that. Very good race. Good round of action, to be fair, this.
Aragon always delivers.
It does, and Valencia up next. That's not shy of a few title deciding plot twists too, and we'll be getting there in a few weeks' time. Race results then. We have got the gaps this time. Max Quiles, your winner once more, ahead of Jesus Rios, a career best second. Guido Pini tries he might, is out of the title race, but he does get another podium. Pini Uriarte is the only rider who can topple Quiles in 2023. He finished fourth. South African Ruche Moodley, Leonardo Zani for sure, a career best sixth. Guillaume Plonk in seventh, ahead of Salmela. On to the other page, the next page, brilliant stuff from Christian Daniel, the number 70 on the MRE Talent Machine, 12th for him, and he'll be looking to build on that, ahead of Adriano Donoso, Pau Alcina and Valentin Barone for Argentina. rounding out the top 15. Over the other page, Hakim Danish's difficult season continues. It's not been a season to remember for him. Benyat Fernandez there in 23rd, fighting back after that big crash in race 1. Vasilis Panteliakis in 25th. And a story of what could have been from the 15-year-old from Greece after his race 1 start dramas. After 10 races out of 11 in the title standings, the European Talent Cup for this year sees the title go all the way to the wire. 1 race remains, 18 points separate Quiles and Uriarte. Pini 3rd and out of it now. Salmela 4th ahead of Boggio. Rios on a charge in 6th. Jesus Torres 7th, didn't feature really this weekend. Gonzalez 8th. Boucher Moodley, his title chances, or at least his point score for this year, taking a big step forward with a strong Aragon. Alberto Ferrandez, he's now up in Moto 2. Guillaume Plonk is 11th. Casey Gorman's up in JuniorGP. And all of the other riders, all fighting for their own reasons in the final race of the season at Valencia. Christian Daniel, Zani, Brinton in 20th place for Great Britain. Qatari Hamad Karis Al Sahuti has always been a front runner, unfortunately having to go through the last chance race, which was then cancelled due to fog this morning. Right the way down, Valentin Peroni with the 3rd point scoring ride of the year. And all the way down to Owen van Tricht at the bottom of the standings. Max Quiles, he was the 2021 European Talent Cup champion. He's a double race winner to Aragon, but the title remains alive. It is mathematical that he is beaten to it, but with form like he's demonstrated here and throughout the rest of the season, there's a reason he's the championship leader by 18 points going to the final round. He looks odds on for success. Will he be toppled? Stay tuned to find out. But meanwhile, here at Aragon, the final race of the day is next in the stock class.